Hello, beer tubers, and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of hobbits. Today, checking out some more Fidens beer, courtesy of Beer Dome. So, thanks a ton to Beer Dome for the beers. Beer Dome, along with many other European web shops and bottle shops and whatnot, got Fidens not too long ago, which is nuts. So, Fidens is one of the very highly acclaimed producers of hazy IPAs in the States right now. And I previously talked about if I want to drink hazies these days, it's got to be of this level. Or at least ones that are not like just really sweet and overripe, ones that are really hop centric. And that's often what you get with Fidens. I've said it before, they're kind of similar in style to something like Monkish, but they do have more of the East Coast flair in terms of esters and sweetness, but not so much that it's, really sweet and too much. At least often, but we'll see about these. I mean, I'm not sure every single Fidens beer is going to be like that. I mean, I've had a good amount, but not that many. So, yeah, we'll find out. But these will be fun to try. I haven't heard of these before. Actually, all of the last beers I've left from them, I've never heard of. And they are very much an IPA. They do other styles now, too, and they've done a lot of West Coast IPAs, which would have been really cool if they got over. But unfortunately, they didn't. They got all haze because haze sells. But they do so many new releases of hazy IPAs. It's a thing. It's what they're known for. So we got two here, and I'm not sure if these are related to each other somehow. It's just because the label is the same. It's a guy with a microphone and a hat, and I can't decipher who that is, if it's a specific artist or something. But it's Use It Up double IPA and Lanterns Low double IPA. They're very similar. Just that this has Simcoe, so this has Simcoe and Citra. This has Simcoe Mosaic and Citra, and it's a little bit stronger. This is 7.9. This is 8.4% alcohol. So yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I've seen them use the same artwork just with different color schemes on other beers before. So that might be it. That might just be the thing. That's the same thing about these beers. I don't know. I also looked on their Instagram when these were released, and there was just a note of what the beer was and the hops, the name and the hops. So they are both canned on the 24th of January, and I think these are I think maybe one more can is from January. Otherwise, all of them are from February, which is pretty amazing. So that makes them a little more like 6 weeks old or something like that, which is still plenty fresh, really. So yeah, let's check them out. I think we should start with the one with just Simcoe and Citra, and it's low in ABV as well. So I think we'll start with that one. The Use It Up. So pours a pretty classic juice bomb color, very hazy golden orange. It does have a little bit of a bright hue to it. It's not as intensely kind of saturated looking as something like Eugene's X, which we had with Michael. It looks a bit more easygoing, but still looks very much like a nice saturated beer. White head. Let's check out the aroma. Interesting. Compared to the other Fidens beers, this is actually the one with the least amount of aroma to it. There's definitely some citrus and some pith and some lime and stuff, but it's not like bursting out of the glass as much. There is aromas, but it's not like that full on. And like when I cracked these, I could smell what was going on. So that must be this beer. There's some green kind of herbaceous nuances as well, and some sweetness. It's slightly crackery too, and doughy. There's also an interesting something, almost like a phenol, like a yeasty spice. Interesting. I'm not really sure what I think of this one. Also smells a bit like it's going to be a bit chalky. I don't know. We'll find out. Cheers, and thanks to Beer Dome for the beers. This is definitely one of my least favorite Fidens beers I've had. It's like chalky and sweet and juicy, like whatever juicy. It's actually very nondescript compared to the other beers, which is super weird. It feels a bit like generic juice. I'm just trying to swirl a little bit. Like with these beers, I usually never like to swirl these because I hate like if you get hop burn. But sometimes, maybe that's what you need to do. I don't know. This just is one of these kind of beers that just reminds me of why I don't really want to drink A's. And usually that's not the case with Fidens. Yeah, it's really generic. There's some citrus. There's lots of doughy, yeasty, doughy breadiness. And then like this yeasty, spicy thing. There's a bit, so swirling it, there's definitely some, you can feel there's some hops in there because they're like, or it's some, cryo leftover hop matter, whatever, because you get that feeling of heavily hop beer, like it digs into your palate, but it's also like, it feels a bit chalky too. I'm actually not a big fan of this one. It's a really run-of-the-mill hazy beer, which is weird. Like, it seems like a hazy beer that, I don't know what's going on with this. Let's try and jump on to this one then. With Simcoe, Mosaic, and Citra. 8.4, Lanterns Low. I mean, they look very much the same, so it could be the same recipes. I really hope this is one that's going to be a bit more exciting. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'll wait. We'll put more in. But yeah, it's the same color. It's that hazy, slightly golden orange, white head. Let's check it out. Yeah, definitely more definable. There's a bright mosaic character, which is quite nice. That kind of slight blueberry-esque mosaic nuance. But it also doesn't burst out of the glass. These have been cold shipped, by the way. So they should be quite decent, also considering age and everything. But yeah, this is definitely has more aroma. It's definitely jumping more out of the glass. But it's also not on the level of other Fidens beers I've had. It's like it's similar to this, but then there's like a layer of mosaic brightness and dankness, slight dankness, and then like a lot of that blueberry type thing, almost like a blueberry yogurt, and with the stone fruit ester, like a peach melba thing almost. But it also is a bit underwhelming. Let's give it a taste and see how it is. Cheers. Much better. Much better. That is interesting how different these two are. This has much more of that like saturated hop feel, like with a lot of brightness. I don't think it's also the best Fidens beer, but I think it might also, 6 weeks, it's not that old. The end of June, what the hell am I saying? It's the end of January that this was tapped, or canned. But it's more of a bright, singy mosaic flavor. And mosaic dominates. It's that like blueberry type vibes. There is spiciness. There's a bit of earthiness, oniony vibes on the back too. And a soft dankness. It doesn't seem as chalky. You can feel there is that layer of hops on your palate too, that polyphenol bite. But it's not like really digging into your palate either. There is a little bit of that peach melba yogurty thing too, something like that. And then like overripe juicy esters, mostly of stone fruit. Almost like a little bit of a like cantaloupe type thing or something like that too. Or even like bubblegummy. But it's not got this weird spicy phenolic, I don't know what that was in the other one. Much better beer. I'm really smelling it now. I'm getting loads of esters. I'm also getting that like melony thing, and bubblegum. Really weird. Really weird. It just seems a little bit more nondescript. I don't know if I have a bad can or something. So in terms of grades, use it up. 85, like maybe even an 80. It's like quite generic haze to me. It's weird because it seems like it has had some kind of brightness or something, but it's muddled. And often that can be oxidation, but I've never heard of anyone having issues with that with Fidens. It could also be I have a can which is one of the last cans that were tapped during the canning run, and there's a bit more of a yeast sludge or a little bit of yeast in this. I don't know. You know, there's so like with small craft breweries, there can be so many variables with things. But that's just a really disappointing beer compared to the level that Fidens usually is at. And it's really good that I paired it up next to this or just had another beer side by side so I wouldn't be massively disappointed because this is fantastic. This is a banger of a hazy. And the main reason I also think it's a banger is because it's got brightness so it doesn't just turn into all juice. There's also that herbaceous touch in this and whatnot. This is a really, really tasty one, especially if you love Mosaic. So yeah, rating wise for Lantern's low. Like a 93, 94. Really, really, really damn good. Still think Eugene's X was better, but I could probably drink more of this. They are somewhat close to each other. It depends on what you want, really. But yeah, you know, I still think Eugene's X is a superior beer. But my favorite is definitely still the Farmer. I haven't had a single beer yet that's topped that. That was awesome. And I think those Farmer Vegan Butcher beers were some of my favorite from Fidens. But yeah, if you guys had a chance to try either of these two, let me know what you thought of them. Again, Beer Dome really sold out on the Fidens beer quick, so you got to get on there quick if you want to try them. But I know that you can still get them many places. I've seen local bottle shops and things like that, or local. I've seen bottle shops online advertise that they have them, so they still have them. So get some Fidens while they're in Europe if you want to try some hype haze. And for sure, if you can, get Eugene's X, because that's so far the best of the bunch. So if you guys had a chance to try either of these, let me know what you thought of them. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page, and Twitter, and Instagram, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And I'm going to say cheers, and see you guys in another beer review.